Passion is interesting and amazing. However, there is something very intriguing about this concept. You see, until about a century ago, passion was a dirty word. Classical philosophers like Socrates and Marcus Aurelius saw passion as a liability, not an asset, an insatiable and a destructive force. And now, in our current age, there are millions of resources to help people find their passion, from movie titles to books. So, why was there a sudden change in that idea of passion from being labeled as a liability to becoming nowadays that X factor for success? Today, I am going to highlight the myths revolving around passion and learn together what we can substitute passion with in order to truly succeed. To start off, let's get into the exact definition of passion. According to the Oxford Dictionary of English, passion is a strong and a barely controllable emotion towards someone or something. Nowadays, this is the most common definition. However, if you look at the origin of this word, it stems from the word pati. And what does that mean? To suffer. Many people would say, how can passion cause suffering? Are you talking nonsense? It doesn't make any sense. Unfortunately, it does. Passion is dangerously self-centered. In fact, our own modern descriptions of this word betray this inward bend. I need to. I have to. I want to. In most cases, whatever word finishes those sentences, regardless of what meaning it has, is always going to be overshadowed by the first. To support my claim, there was a study conducted by 3 Stanford researchers in 2018 revolving around passion. The 3 psychologists recruited participants from 2 main categories: those who were passionate about humanities and arts, and those who were passionate about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or let's say STEM for short. Over the course of 5 experiments, the researchers observed a total of 470 participants as they watched videos and read articles on topics that interested them, as well as topics that did not interest them. Participants who were deeply interested in only one topic were unable to complete or understand the other materials. The psychologists concluded that popular mantras like "follow your passion" make people think that pursuing a passion will be so easy. Believers are then more likely to give up when they face challenges or roadblocks. They also found that focusing on that single passion made people less likely to consider other potential areas of interest. This closed-minded view can be detrimental to the success of individuals as well as communities. I know some of you won't believe me even if I mention facts. So why not I give you a real-life example? Everyone knows about Google and Microsoft. Back in the day, Google was a very small company compared to Microsoft. And during that time, there was a race towards developing new operating software for smartphones. And at that time, Apple was the only company that was able to create a secure operating system for smartphones. And the rest was free space, which any company could theoretically acquire and gain mass profits. Now, since Microsoft was the biggest company at that time, everyone thought that they would seize the opportunity, just like how they did with computers. However, what was shocking was that Microsoft was supposedly too slow to take action, despite having enough resources. And by the time Microsoft actually released their own operating software, they had already lost to Google. And the Android operating system was already launched. Microsoft lost $400 billion in profits. And in a podcast, when Bill Gates was asked about this, he said, "It was the biggest mistake of my life." One might ask, after telling you the story, how does this all connect to passion? And the answer is quite simple. Because Microsoft was passionate or focused about creating software for computers only. Because of this concept, they had lost thousands of opportunities when it comes to diversifying their business. I mean, you look at Google nowadays, and they've created Gmail, Google Ads, Google Maps, and even their own phone. And just remember back then, they were just a small search engine company. And now, they are an integral part of our society. In conclusion, advice like follow your passion can be very dangerous. So let's say we remove passion out of that equation. So how can we balance that equation? How can we maintain that equilibrium? And the answer to that question is by replacing passion with two key habits. The first of which is going to be purpose, and the second is peripheral. Let's start off with purpose. As we said before, passion can be self-centered and can become your liability because of it. So purpose here is going to counter that issue, because purpose is about them. It's not about me. It reorients our focus onto the causes and people we're trying to reach, serve, help, and most importantly, love. Psychologist Jonathan Haidt describes this pursuit as a striving to getting the right relationships between yourself and others, between yourself and your work, and between yourself and something much, much larger than yourself. And if you get these relationships right, a sense of purpose and meaning will definitely emerge. In short, passion makes us bigger. It is true. However, purpose connects us to something so much bigger. And in doing so, it makes us right-sized. Moving on to peripheral, we concluded before that passionate people are the most susceptible to overlook new opportunities. So here, the idea of peripheral is about establishing an unwavering curiosity by using our existing knowledge to discover new patterns and new trends, both for the sake of our development or for the sake of your business or career. You know what's the problem with passion here? it makes us myopic. We become so focused on that desire inside of us. We lose sight of what's actually around us. So by adopting a peripheral perspective, we begin to examine the margins. Rather than rush headlong into a disaster, we're able to spot not just the pitfalls, but the opportunities we would have otherwise missed. So, how can we integrate those two habits into ourselves? And to do this, by cultivating curiosity. Questions like, what am I missing? What am I ignoring? Who could give me a fresh take? Are vital in every area of our lives. Likewise, so is putting ourselves in new situations, intentionally pursuing people who have nothing to do with what it is we think we want, and reading books outside of our passions. And I repeat, it's about reading books outside of our passion. So, the big question, is passion a bad thing? And to answer this question, I would like to mention a quote by Carl Newport. Passion is the result of excellence, not its source. Thank you.